Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to the first matchday ticket of 2021. I am your host, Martin, the Governor, and I'm flinging open the tavern doors and welcome you all. I really am quite excited about today's game, and I can't quite put a finger on it. It feels like the start of a new season. It feels like a chance to reset. Maybe it's because when the lights come down, the bauble comes down, and the tree comes down, Benjamin, you'll find out in a minute, folks at home. When the tree comes down, it's almost like this is now it, isn't it? The run in towards the end of the season, things start to get a bit serious, and momentum starts to become a big factor. And who's got it? Entering today's state of play, following this afternoon's game, we currently sit 8th, played 18, 32 points. A win today could see us rise as high as 4th, though. So lots to play for. And Stuart Taylor, who did the press at the start of the week, or end of the week rather, said we've almost got a fully fit squad. So no excuses, potentially. So before we go any further, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be at Portman Road roundabout now, probably buying my burger and my pint. And I've got to say this because, you know, her indoors gives it all that, didn't she? And I promised her a bit of a fish and chip tea. So if you would be so kind, we do have some donation links. You can donate the price of a cup of coffee by going to Ko-Fi. The links are in the chat. You know, I've got to buy chips. I promised it. I don't know why I promised it for, but there we go. So if you can support us, if you do like what we do, if you do want to see us grow and continue to get better, then of course, anything you can give is worthwhile. Joining me this afternoon, then, let's get into the show. I've gone bright red of embarrassment. It's just, anyway, if you're married, you get the jib. Who's going to be introduced first? Well, we have got a reoccurring contributor. He is, of course, the milk tray man of East Anglia. It is, of course, Benjamin Michael. And where's his intro in? Ben, welcome in, and as I alluded to in the introduction, there is that Christmas tree. It's nearly February, man. What are you playing at?
Have you met my wife?
Somebody else then. Somebody else is married.
Yeah, there's no fish and chip supper at the end of that, so that's there, I think, at least until tomorrow, when I think I can force the issue, but that is coming down.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. And of course, I did make you turn the TV off just in case we get any copyright infringement.
Of course, I'm kind of doing this, trying to hide everything around me at the moment.
But let's fill in the blanks for the guys at home and the girls at home, because we've got some new technology for you sat there, right? We've got what have we got that's new?
We've got this new webcam, which unfortunately shows my face in high definition, which is probably a really bad thing. The fuzz was always quite forgiving for me. We have this new light kind of thing, which makes me look quite like the background, and hopefully you can hear me a bit better because I've got this microphone thing. So all the crap that I say about Lancaster, you can now do it in high def, good lighting and good sound.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good. The only thing that's not looking good is that tree. We've got Callie in the house. Welcome in, Callie. We can go third if we win 13-0. I can tell you now that categorically will not happen. Good evening, C. Vera. Matt Stannard, evening. Happy New Year, Leighton. Hope you're all good. That must have been somebody in the chat. Reese Curtis, good evening. Got a win tonight. Daniel Carter. Not seen that name before. Welcome in, Daniel. Hello all. Happy New Year. Daniel. Just watch us make this harder than it needs to be. New year, but same old town. Just the way we love it. Well, it is a new year, and that, of course, means we've got a new contributor joining us. He has been on the show previously, so those that watch regularly will know who it is or know of him. It is, of course, our Go West man, Ben. Welcome in, Ben. How you doing?
Ben.
I'm very good, thank you, and Happy New Year to all the viewers and to you two, of course.
Happy New Year, man.
Thank you. I was working on the on the surname before the show, weren't we? But I didn't want to risk it off the cuff. So, for those at home, it is Ben
Erier,
right? Erier. I'll have to work on that. I'll have to work on that because I'm not good with Smith. So Erier is going to. Oh, I've done it.
Yeah, you said it perfectly.
There we go. I've done it. Dan Shevard, come on, you Blues. Joe Dickerson, possibly of the chuckle variety. No Lambert on the bench tonight. Well, they could have called me in, shouldn't they? Well, let's jump straight into the team news today. I've put it down as a 4-2-3-1, but as I've said on the graphic, I really, really want a 4-4-2. Talk me through it. What jumps out straight away to you, Go West?
Is Go West me, by the way? I'm not used to the nickname.
It is, yes.
Okay, to be honest, what really jumps out at me is the back two, because we've had Wolfenden and McGuinness for quite a while. I didn't think there's really enough balance back there. Chambers and Ward, I don't really think they're flexible to really play fullbacks. I don't think that they can really ride up the flanks like we would really like them to. Again, Wolfenden and McGuinness, they're both young, so I'll be interested to see whether going forward there'll be a consistent partnership. And again, of course, Drennan up front, we haven't seen him in quite a while. Recently came back from injury, so yeah, I hope he does well up front. Hopefully he brings us the goals we haven't been having lately.
Absolutely. Milk Tray, Cruncher says I can't even pronounce Andre's surname, so no chance for the Airier, but that's 2-0 in the bank. Cruncher's not been a fan of McGuinness and Wolfenden at the back. Where do you stand on them as a partnership? Do you think they're a long-term... not long-term as in years.
I understand, and I do understand Cruncher's criticisms, but I've got to say they're okay for now, and okay for now is as good as it's going to get. I don't think Wolfenden, jury's still out for me. He could fly to the moon, or he could stay roughly where he is. We don't quite know yet. But I think of what we have, who's better? I mean, arguably, they're not great, but they're not terrible. And in this league, not great and not terrible is not bad.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. I think the criticism really comes from the fact that you've got, or you did have, Corey and Darber available. He's now gone out on loan to Ayr up to Scotland.
Yeah.
So now that kind of, I'll call it a threat to the position, if you like. Now it's been taken away. It's almost theirs to lose, rightfully so. But we have seen some moments from them that's not been good. So. Do we have a player on our squad where they've had moments where they haven't been good? I think every single person who plays for us can say the exact same thing. You could go through that entire team right now and say, I can name 2 games where they've all made some, terrible screw up, or they've had an off game. Obviously, there's consistent criticism for Judge. But again, he still finds themselves in there. But the person that jumps out at me for that is actually Dobra, because he has gone from completely out in the cold and out of the squad to almost like a mainstay like Judge now. And I'm kind of wondering why that's happened. It's interesting because I always thought it was a personal thing, Lambert and Dobra. He just didn't like him, even though I thought he had ability. I think he looks good when he comes on for a kid. I like the guy, but that wasn't I can't get into a team. That felt more of you're excluded from the team. So to go from that, not on the bench and coming on regularly, but to a nailed on starter at the moment, really, really interesting. I don't know where it's come from, but interesting. Do you agree with that? It was almost the McCarthy, Selena, the more you call for it, the less you'll get it type of deal. Do you think that was the case with Dobra?
Yeah, kind of. Lambert's man management has been so poor in regards to the youngsters.
Agreed.
Not allowing them to be in the team first. That was such a small, petty thing not to allow the youngsters to do. And if you're a youngster, your confidence must be shot if you're not allowed to do something like that. So, yeah, in my opinion, it's very much fans calling out for him. So, the manager, as we're not doing too well at the moment. I know we beat Burton last time out, but yeah, I mean... He's sorry if you can hear the dogs out there, but yeah, he's literally just put him back in just to appease the fans, really. And I really hope he's a game changer, because apart from Judge, not Judge Jackson, sorry, not Judge, we don't really have any game changers on the bench. So it'd be interesting to really see whether Dobra can actually, especially out wide, make an impact.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to be that milk trade, Dobra, Judge and Jackson. I think if he's going to go with a 4-2-3-1, I do think it will be in that type of configuration.
I don't see it as our lineup today. I'm honestly thinking, judging by what he's done before, is a 4-3-3 with Jackson on the right, Dobra on the left and Drennan in the middle. That's what I think is going to happen. I've no doubt that in about 77 minutes he'll change the formation and maybe bring a substitute on. But onto the substitutes bench, It's looking all right. I mean, this kid Scissor, whatever his name is, okay, looks interesting. Scissor, but you got Downs back, Norwood, Lancaster. You know, I say I have my things, but do you know what? Keep playing, keep getting better. Prove me wrong. I want to see it. But it's just looking a little bit better. What I don't want to happen is to bring Downs or Norwood on in the 68th minute, and then bang, they're out for another 8 weeks, which unfortunately is the quintessential Ipswich tactical move.
Yeah, but a lot of times that is not through rushing a player back. That's normally through just sheer bad luck. I don't think a criticism of the club can ever be they've rushed the player back. I just don't think that's kind of our thing. Seeing that bench though, Downs, Norwood, Lancaster, you know, there's some real ability on that bench. Hughes is a name I didn't expect to ever see in midfield in a league game a while back, but here he is yet again.
Yeah.
What do you expect? What do you both expect from a Hughes and Dazelle midfield combination?
Well, to be honest, like, I'm yet to really see them play off each other. Like, I know we saw Hughes score last time out, but they're kind of like an unknown entity, really. Like, we haven't consistently seen them ever really play together. I reckon once Downs is back, we'll probably end up seeing Dazelle Downs. Once Bishop is back, maybe we'll see a 3-5-2 where, you know, maybe Downs, Bishop and Dazelle will slot in there. But, you know, like, yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. It's be interesting to see what they do. And I really hope Hughes continues on his quote-unquote good form, because, you know, he scored last time out. Doesn't necessarily mean he had a good performance. But, yeah, we need the goals.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for that. You know, I mean, he was on the pitch, he scored the goal, and I think he gets a lot of criticism. I get it. I do think it's a bit unjust compared to the shit that surrounds him. I think he gets focused on him more than maybe it should, but that's a personal opinion, and I could be completely wrong on that. I just want to echo Daniel Carter in the comments saying about the Christmas downtime. And that's going to be really interesting, because we've had now what is the equivalent of one of our, we're going to rest all of our players for a cup game and keep them fresh and keep all our players fit. Well, this is the ultimate, you know, version of that. You know, that our players have done nothing to injure themselves. They've taken it easy comparatively. They haven't been, you know, getting their Achilles whacked in training. So by far and wide, it's just simple match fitness, which should be the limitation today. I'm hoping no one comes on and they're going to be out for 3 or 4 games as well, because we should be fresh on paper.
Well, yes, but let's pump the brakes there a little bit, because obviously we have had the COVID scare running through the camp, and that has meant training individually. Now, I don't know what their own individual setup is like, home gym, ball against the wall, you know, like there's only so much.
In the park, jumpers as goalposts.
Well, yeah, with your children. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're human beings at the end of the day, and that is, it's a joke, but when you're on your own training,
you do what you can.
Yeah. And obviously some professionals are more professional than others. So some will certainly be taking it a lot more seriously. And that's as human beings as such. I've got a comment here that says, get your missus to make herself useful, Ben, and take that tree down. I'm working
on it.
Amy Downs. If nothing else, football is providing a good excuse for a couple of hours away from the kids. Good to hear it. The Cruncher. Accrington looked really impressive last night. Really,
they did.
Traps. Want to see Town doing the same. Fit our fast start, early goal. Joe, who's worried we might get embarrassed. Swindon have not won in 6. In fact, the Sky Sports advert, if you like, the blurb reads, Ipswich Town versus Swindon. Swindon haven't won a game in 6.
Yeah,
like, we are. That's the best you can come up with.
How many times have we sat here and said that we are the team to play if you're in the worst form? You can't score a goal. Come and play Ipswich. You want to focus on not conceding and start from the black back? Come and play Ipswich. In an alarming run of form and your manager's head's on the block? Come and play Ipswich. So everything that we've experienced, probably for the last 2 or 3 seasons, we are the team to play if you're in absolutely diabolical form. But I've just got this, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this kind of post-Christmas, you know, lift. You know, it's new. I want to echo what Cruncher said the other day on the podcast. I'm actually just happy to be watching the football again, because I've missed it, you know.
It's a welcome distraction.
Yeah, it's a wonderful distraction, and I hope that we win today. I think that's our first. That'll be our first back-to-back win in since the opening day of the season.
Well, yes, our stat man, he'll definitely know. But that feeling can disappear very quickly if we do not start fast.
True is
if
that?
we do not have a good game. And we could be sat here tomorrow on the podcast, 1:30 live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, talking about where it went wrong and how we were looking forward to it, and then it just it fell off. Aaron Drinnan. Aaron Drinnan has scored as many league goals as myself, you, and you. Hopefully, that changes today. Do you expect it to change? Do you see he's now in the team sheet and get excited and think there's a good prospect there, or is he just somebody who's been hyped up by the media, and it's not an awful lot there?
No, because we're yet to really see what he's capable of. Like when he started the very first game of the season against Swindon, we thought he was going to do really well. He had a few really good opportunities, but then he got injured. I think he got injured in that game. So yeah, we're yet to really see what he's capable of. He's touted as being he was touted by Mick McCarthy as being the next Daryl Murphy, but really, have we really seen that from him yet? Still, he's a young lad. He's 23. He's still kind of young, I guess. So
young though, young in today's game.
Not in football.
Yeah, well,
how old is Lancaster?
Jack Lancaster is
younger than
19.
that.
I think he's 19.
19. So you
consider
you'd like to think
is
Lancaster
33.
in 4 years in Lancaster, you want to see him doing really well. Take the opportunities, learn, get better, score the goals. If Lancaster in 4 years is where Drinnan is now, you would probably class him as a failure, which you don't want to see at 23. So I want to see Lancaster go beyond that. But alternatively, Drinnan, again, I echo your point, Ben. We just don't know. He's a complete unknown quantity.
Is he target man? Is he an advanced forward?
Yeah,
he's J Tab's second coming. He just tries hard.
He's the top half of J Tab.
And that's great. But Matt Stannard, today's the day. Drinnan gets a hat trick, lifts his shirt, and it says "For you, Martin." I would love to see that.
Love that.
I really would. Ips Blake has a great point. We didn't see it from Murphy for a few seasons on loan. My initial reaction to reading that is, yeah, okay. But actually, when you think about it a little bit more in context, we played Murphy up wide on the left. Aaron Drinnan is playing in his position. So you almost can't compare the two.
Well,
with that.
he is. We don't know the formation yet. This could still be a 4-3-3. I prefer your formation, Martin, but this could still be a 4-3-3. We're actually not going to know until we literally turn on Sky and see what he's done, because that will determine, I think, the kind of game Drinnan has, because he's got that quality either side of him. If he is in the middle, I love the idea of Jackson coming in on the right, although I prefer Jackson as a four in front of a 4-4-2 with a partner. But hey, we're Ipswich, that's not going to happen. So his second position for me is coming in on the right with the pace and the trickery. Keep Drinnan back. He's a good ball holder. And Dobber on the left. So I want to. It depends on the formation. The formation today is everything. That is where we will win or we will lose.
Is that Mike Brown talking there, or was that the milk tray man? It's almost like Mike Brown's coming through my headphones here. So I get it, and people are saying like Owen Davis says, give the lad a chance, and I'm not wanting to write him off. There's nothing more I would love to see than to no longer say that stat. But as Cruncher says earlier in the conversation, the Cruncher has scored more goals at Pullman Road than Aaron Drinnan. Less chances.
I think there's a difference between Lancaster and Drinnan. Lancaster literally came out from nowhere, and he's one of our own. He's come through the academy. Whereas Drinnan, he was a player that we bought. He was a player that we bought under McCarthy. So there was always that pressure on Drinnan to really succeed, as there was so much expectation on him after Murphy left. Okay, he wasn't immediately going to go into the first team, but yeah, they're different players really. You can't really compare the two.
No. It'd be interesting having Lancaster and Drinnan up front, just the two of them. I mean, you could argue they're perhaps a little bit more the same than what you would want, but that'd be an interesting combo. But of course, that means a 4-4-2, and we are not a 4-4-2 team. But
if you can't play 4-4-2 against Swindon, who by and large are bottom of the table, haven't won a game in 6 games. I mean, they're not.
That's the argument. You know, and we done this before. I can't remember the team was before in the season. We come up against a team that were just who was it? The worst team that we played in ages. I can't.
Burton.
Yeah, Burton. It was Burton, and the formation wasn't set up to go and attack. It was more of a sort of contain and slowly play from the back. You can. I know that there's that Mick McCarthy argument of you match your formation dependent completely on the opposite team and stopping them playing. And that's been an argument for a long time. But I think we should put our formation in, impose ourselves on the game. I do think we have a level of talent above where we are. Okay, there's not a lot of evidence for that right now, but I still think you need to play the right players in the right positions. And at the end of the day, I mean, I can't stand Lambert. I want him out, the whole thing. But we're still 3 points from third place today. That's not bad. Now, whatever way you look at it, and whatever criticism you have, and I have most of them. That ain't bad.
It is. Joe says if you're a better man, put a fiver on Dobra to score. Lewis says give him a chance. This is what we do. Write players off before they have a. The thing is, I'm not writing him off.
I disagree with that. I don't think you're writing him off. Yeah,
I'm right. Well, I'm writing him off then. But as a fan, I think it's the right thing to do.
No, you're not writing him off. I don't think you are writing him off. Yeah, I agree.
Sorry.
And we haven't even seen what he's capable of. Sorry, like you can't write of a player when you don't know what he can do. Like we haven't consistently seen him play up front. Like if last season, if Drinnan had played like 10, 15 games, then we could write him off because obviously it hasn't worked out for him. But he hasn't been consistent. We haven't actually seen him actually properly play up front. Whenever he has been given a chance, he's always been injured. So like we're not writing him off.
No.
None of us are written him off. None of us.
I'm on the verge of writing him off. I'll be honest. I want to see a little bit more. 23 run of games. I just think he's not being helped with this formation. If it is a lone striker,
absolutely right.
If you played a player of Drinnan's work rate, which is what he's got in bags, with a player of Jackson's quality, I think opportunities would naturally fall to him. At the moment, it's kind of on him to bring others in. And you could argue he's not doing that either because we're not getting goals throughout the team. So, it remains to be seen, but I think it's right to say, will today be the day he gets a goal? Who knows? Matt Stannard, I'm placing a fiver on Drinnan to score first. If he does, Martin, the money's coming your way for, the management will be very pleased with that. Coxey, Towns football is back 2-0 today. Right,
there we go.
8 minutes to kick off. So, it is time to crack open a beer, a cider, a white wine, whatever you'd rather. That was almost a Drizzy Rascal song. What are we drinking this evening, gentlemen? As we watch Ipswich Town pull apart Swindon. On the tap, we've got Horlock's Harvest, G'day Massimo, and Wiltshire Wellins. What are you two drinking?
Well, for me, if we lose 2-0, it's probably be a triple glass of vodka. If we win, it's a nice refreshing beer. So it all depends on the result, to be fair.
Sounds good. Ben's always got a good one on the go.
I have, yeah. I've actually got this one. I was waiting to save it for the game. Thank you, Darren. This is called Beardo.
Ooh, Beardo.
Yeah.
And who makes Beardo?
Beer. Yeah, a Beardo beer. I thought I'm going to save this for the game. And by the end of it, I'm probably going to be grey and bald, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to start the game positive, full of beer, full of joy.
Absolutely. Well, best way to start a town game, I'll tell you that much. It's Blakey. We need to play through the middle. Swindon concede more goals through the middle than anywhere. Right, 5 minutes to kick off live on Sky. What are our bold predictions for this evening's
I've
game?
got a bold one.
Go on, in.
I've got a bold one. Ben, you go first. I've got to work up to this because it's going to sound stupid on the after show. I've got to work out how I'm going to take it back.
The thing is, Swindon, they want to win. If they win, they'll be out of the relegation zone. So I reckon we'll win. I reckon it's be C1, but I reckon it's be a very tough game. I reckon, Swindon will probably set up very, very well. They'll probably defend very well from the back. I don't reckon it's going to be an easy game.
Score?
2-1.
2-1. Do you think it'll be not an easy game, but do you think it'll be a game we make harder on ourselves? We're famous for doing that. Or do you think it will be Swindon that provide the tough competition? So are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot and make it tough, or are they going to make it tough?
Definitely going to be Swindon because, they have a lot to play for. They've been on bad form lately, and the win would do so much for them. Out the relegation zone, if they win, they have players really that are capable of doing that. So, yeah, I reckon they'll make it tough for us, but due to the individual quality of our squad, apart from Judge, I reckon we'll win.
Right, before you go on, Ben, guys, get those score predictions in the chat. I will run through them after this man here has delivered what he's going to deliver. Ben?
I will have to reflect on Sid Drivers. 3-1 is exactly where it's going to be today, and the 1 is because we have an ex-Town player playing against us, and it is done, so it is written, so it shall be performed. They will score against us, but I'm feeling good today. There's something in the water, and I like the taste of it, and I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1. Okay. Judge on the score sheet.
Do you know what? Yes.
Drinnan?
The second one. Drinnan? Also, yes. Let's put a brace for Drinnan. Fuck it.
Fucking Jesus wept. Wow. Rob Pooley, 2-0 ITFC. Stuart, happy birthday for next week. 3-0 Town win. The Cruncher, 3-0 Town. 2-1 from Amy Downs. Sid Driver, as you've mentioned, 3-1 Jackson, double 17-2. Got a lot of betters in the house soon. I love it. Apes Blakey, 2-1 Town. Matt Stannard, 4-1 Town. Swindon will have more passion than us. Which stat category does that go into?
You can't measure that, can you? Like, you can't measure like who's more passionate. Like, do you mean the fans? Do you mean the players?
The cardboard cutouts, they're not doing their jobs. They're not doing it well enough. Get them out there, two boys.
I think I've done great there. Got out and walked yet. I would have.
Yeah, Wardy Tractor Boys. Scrappy 1-1. Aaron 2-0. Andreas, welcome in. 1-1 draw. Andreas. Turn that
safe.
upside down.
Too safe.
4-2 to Town. Ugly 2-1 win.
Nick Muller, liking that.
Nick Muller loves a good 5. Nick Muller loves a good high scoring, and he's isolating at the moment. So, Nick, we wish you well, my man. Look after yourself.
Take care, man.
Joe says Beardos is awesome.
Damn right it is.
Dream on, lads, from Facebook user. 4-1 Town. And Lee Anderson, I think, will win this evening. He's got a bottle of red and a kebab.
Ooh, sounds great.
Can't ask for more than that, really. We're done. We're dusted. We are back at half time and then back again at full time when we want all of you on the show. Get yourselves on. Have your say live with myself, Milk Tray, and Go West. But until then, we'll look after yourselves and come on, you Blues. I'm going to say, hang on. I'm going to say, I'm criticised because I'm always told you always say 2-0. So I'm going to say 4-0 victory. Okay. I don't think Paul Lambert's there this evening. So Stuart Taylor's in charge. A bit like when Terry Connor took charge when Mick was ill and we went rampant on Borough. I think we're going to go rampant on Swindon. Bit of a difference, I know. But 4-0. Judge with a free kick. Jackson hat-trick.
I think you're more right to resemble a rampant rabbit than be rampant, but we shall see.